You know that feeling? The direct deposit hits your account, and for a brief moment, you breathe easier. You tell yourself, okay, I'm good. This time, I'll make it last. But then, days, sometimes hours later, you're checking your balance and wondering, where did it all go? It's almost as if your money evaporates in the air the second it arrives. And the worst part? You're not even sure how. People tell you it's just poor budgeting. Others say it's the rising cost of living. And sure, those things matter, but deep down you know it's more than that, because this keeps happening, month after month, no matter how much you earn or how carefully you try to plan. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many of us are living under an invisible contract with scarcity. We've been trained subtly over years to expect money to leave faster than it comes in. And without realizing it, we make choices, form habits, and live our lives as if running out of money is not just possible, but inevitable. It's not about being irresponsible. It's not about being lazy. It's about a silent, inherited belief system that most people never question. A belief planted so early that it becomes the background noise of your entire financial life. The belief that there is never enough, and that there never will be. This mindset doesn't just shape how you spend, it shapes who you become. It makes you take jobs you don't want, stay in situations that drain you, and settle for less than you deserve because, in your mind, the risk of having nothing is always just one decision away. In this video, we're going to dig beneath the surface. We'll uncover the hidden mental scripts that have been steering your financial life without your permission, psychological traps that keep you hustling, but never arriving, and most importantly, the exact shifts you need to make to escape this scarcity cycle once and for all. Because here's the thing. If you daren't rewrite the story in your head about money, it won't matter how much you earn. It will always find a way to leave. Stay with me. Once you see what's really going on, you'll never look at your bank account or your future the same way. So, let us get one thing clear. The reason money always seems to run out isn't just about math. It's about mindset, and not in the fluffy just think positive way. I'm talking about a deep psychological pattern that runs in the background of your life, influencing every decision you make about money, often without you realizing it. This pattern has a name: the scarcity mindset. It's the belief that resources are always limited, that there's never enough to go around, and that if you don't grab what you can now, you might never get another chance. It sounds harmless, maybe even logical. But here's the twist. When you live inside this belief, your brain actually pushes you to make choices that create the very lack you fear. Think about it. If you believe money is always slipping away, you'll treat it like something temporary, fragile, fleeting. You'll spend quickly because you think holding on to it is pointless. Or you will avoid investing because you're too afraid to lose what little you have. And little by little, your behavior confirms the belief, and the cycle repeats. But here's the kicker. Most of us didn't choose this mindset. We inherited it. It came from watching our parents stress over bills, from hearing phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can afford that repeated like mantras. It came from a culture that glamorizes wealth, yet constantly warns us about the dangers of having too much or too little. And the truth is, this isn't just your story. It's a shared cultural script, passed down through generations, woven into our everyday choices, from the brands we buy to the careers we settle for. It's why some people can double their income and still feel broke, while others manage to build wealth on much less. In this video, not just going to talk about money, going to talk about the invisible programming that controls your relationship with it. Because until you see that programming for what it is, breaking free from the money always runs out trap is almost impossible. Meet Ethan. He grew up in a small Midwestern town where money talk was either whispered in fear or bragged about in envy. For most of his childhood, his parents worked long hours just to keep the lights on. When bills came in, The air in the house would change. His father would get quiet, his mother would get tense. And dinner conversations would turn into subtle reminders that we can't afford that. But Ethan was different, told himself. When I'm older, I won't live like this. So he studied hard, got a degree, and landed a job in the city, making more money than anyone in his family ever had. For the first time, he could walk into a store and buy something without checking his bank account first. That feeling was intoxicating, almost like breathing fresh air after years underwater. With his new salary, Ethan started to build the life he thought would set him free from scarcity. He rented a nicer apartment, bought a better car, upgraded his wardrobe, and treated his friends to dinners he once only dreamed of affording. Each purchase felt like proof that he had finally made it. After all, isn't that what success looks like? But here's the thing about the scarcity mindset. It doesn't just disappear when you make more money. It hides. And when it hides, it can become even more dangerous. Ethan didn't realize it yet. The very same belief that haunted his parents, that money will always leave, was still living inside him. The difference now was that instead of living in fear, he was living in overcompensation. He was spending not just because he could, but because deep down he felt that if he didn't enjoy it now, it might be gone tomorrow. And for a while, it worked. His social media looked great. His friends admired his lifestyle. And he told himself that the stress his parents carried would never be his reality. But beneath the surface, the old programming was still in control, pushing him toward the same trap, only dressed in a more expensive outfit. Because that's the cruel irony of the scarcity mindset. You can climb higher, make more, and surround yourself with symbols of success, and still find yourself on the edge of running out. Not because the world took it from you, but because the story in your head never changed. At first, Ethan didn't notice the signs. A few extra charges on his credit card here, a slightly higher rent payment there. Nothing alarming. After all, he was making good money, more than enough, or so he thought. And when you've worked so hard to escape the shadow of scarcity, the last thing you want to believe is that it might be following you. Then came the just this once expenses. A weekend trip with friends that somehow turned into a 4-figure bill. An unexpected car repair he didn't have the cash for, so he put it on his credit card. A brand new phone he convinced himself was a necessary upgrade. Because, well, he deserved it. A dinner out that turned into drinks, then an after party, then another $100 gone. Individually, none of these moments felt like a big deal. It's how the scarcity trap works. It doesn't hit you all at once. It's death by 1,000 small swipes. Each expense seems harmless in isolation. But together, they start quietly eating away at your financial safety net. By his 3rd year in the city, Ethan's lifestyle had grown in perfect sync with his paycheck and then some. He was living paycheck to paycheck. Again, same stress he remembered from his parents' kitchen table had somehow found him in his modern apartment with a skyline view. He'd check his bank account on Monday, see a healthy balance, and by Friday, feel the familiar panic. How did it go so fast? This is where the scarcity mindset shows its most dangerous side. Because when you believe money is always about to run out, your brain stops thinking long-term. Instead, it slips into short-term survival mode. You spend faster because you might as well enjoy it before it's gone. You avoid saving because the little you could put away feels pointless. You make financial choices that give you a quick dopamine hit now, but leave you weaker in the long run. Ethan didn't want to admit it, but deep down he knew he was replaying the same story he grew up watching. The numbers in his paycheck had changed, but the narrative in his head hadn't. It wasn't about the amount of money anymore. It was about the mental programming that told him over and over that no matter how much came in, it wouldn't stay. And here's the cruel irony. Scarcity is self-fulfilling. If you believe there's never enough, you'll live in ways that make sure there is never enough. You will find ways unconsciously to confirm the story you've been telling yourself since childhood. For Ethan, that meant always chasing the next paycheck. always feeling one unexpected expense away from disaster, and always carrying that low-grade anxiety that never quite went away. It didn't matter that his apartment was nicer, his car was newer, or his clothes were more expensive. Beneath the surface, he was still that kid in the kitchen, overhearing his parents whisper about bills, still living with the quiet fear that it could all disappear tomorrow. That's the cruel trick of the scarcity mindset. It doesn't care how much you make. It only cares about how much you believe you lack. And as long as that belief stays, the outcome stays too. Here's the thing about the scarcity mindset. It's not just a belief. It's a mental operating system, a set of invisible rules your brain follows, shaping how you perceive, react, and make decisions about money. And the tricky part? Most people don't even realize it's running in the background. Psychologists call this phenomenon cognitive priming. When your brain is trained to expect lack, it starts interpreting the world through that lens. It notices threats faster than opportunities. It overreacts to minor losses and underestimates potential gains. It prioritizes short-term relief over long-term stability and survival over growth. And here is where the real danger lies. The scarcity mindset doesn't just respond to your environment, it creates it. When you believe money will always run out, your brain subconsciously sabotages your own efforts. You spend impulsively to relieve anxiety. You avoid saving or investing because it feels pointless. You make choices that provide immediate comfort but cost long-term security. This mindset even distorts your sense of self-worth. If you've internalized scarcity, wealth feels unnatural, almost undeserved. You might unconsciously resist financial growth, overspend to justify your income, or make risky decisions that reaffirm the story of lack. Even when opportunity comes knocking, your mind whispers, "You don't belong here. Hey, this isn't for you." For Ethan, this explained the invisible force behind his struggles. He wasn't careless. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't doomed by circumstance. He was following a script written decades before he was born. A story that told him security was temporary and loss was inevitable. Every impulsive purchase, every missed investment, every moment of financial anxiety was a chapter in a narrative his subconscious believed without question. The scarcity mindset doesn't just affect your finances, it infiltrates your entire life, influences career choices, relationships, and even how you dream about the future. It can make you settle for less, fear abundance, or constantly chase what always seems just out of reach. And here's the cruel irony. The more you try to escape it with bigger paychecks or flashy purchases, the more it can tighten its grip. Breaking free from scarcity isn't about earning more money. It's about rewiring the belief that there is never enough. It's about noticing the hidden scripts, understanding the triggers, and consciously choosing a new story. One where opportunity, growth, and abundance are possible. Because until that mental shift happens, you can double your income, invest wisely, or work tirelessly, and still feel broke. The battle isn't in your bank account, it's in your mind. Once you recognize that, everything changes. You start making decisions not out of fear, but out of possibility. You stop chasing fleeting comfort and begin building lasting security. And slowly, just slowly, the scarcity mindset loses its power. Ethan's story doesn't have to be yours. The scarcity mindset is invisible, but it is not unbreakable. Once you recognize the patterns, you can start rewriting the script that has controlled your relationship with money for years, sometimes decades, without you even realizing it. Lesson 1. Awareness is the foundation. The first step toward freedom is noticing the beliefs that run in your mind. Pay attention to the phrases, the mental scripts, and the automatic thoughts that shape your financial behavior. You'll never hear yourself thinking, "We'll never have enough, I'm always behind," or "I'll never get ahead." These are echoes of old programming passed down from parents, culture, and society. Awareness isn't judgment, it's understanding. It's the ability to pause and say, this is my mind reacting, not reality. Once you identify these patterns, you can begin to dismantle them. Lesson 2. Challenge the narrative. After noticing your scarcity beliefs, you need to actively question them. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Consider the evidence. Look at times when you had enough, moments when resources appeared when you least expected, or opportunities that presented themselves despite your fear. Writing these down can be a powerful exercise. You will often see that the cycle of lack caused by the world around you. It's caused by choices made under fear and conditioned by old mental scripts. Once you challenge the narrative, you start creating space for a new one. Lesson 3. Rewire through consistent habits. Changing your mindset is more than thinking differently. It's acting differently. Small, consistent habits signal to your brain that abundance is possible. Track your spending meticulously. Save a little bit every week, no matter how small. Start investing with intention, even modest amounts. These actions are not just financial, they are psychological. Every time you save instead of spending impulsively, every time you invest instead of hoarding cash in fear, you're sending a message to your subconscious. Money can stay. Money can grow. Money can serve me. Separate money from identity. Scarcity often convinces us that our self-worth is tied to our bank balance. This is one of its most insidious traps. Learning to separate income from identity frees you from guilt, anxiety, and compulsive behavior. You are valuable regardless of your balance, and financial setbacks are not moral failures. This realization changes the way you approach money, from fear-driven reactions to intentional, strategic decisions. Lesson 5. Seek new stories and environments. You cannot escape mental programming entirely on your own. Surround yourself with examples, mentors, and communities that model healthy, abundant relationships with money. Read stories of people who overcame scarcity, learn from their strategies, and observe how they approach opportunities. Abundance is learned, practiced, and reinforced by the people and environments around you. Lesson 6. Patience and persistence. Breaking free from scarcity isn't instant. It's a process of gradual change. Your brain has been conditioned for decades to expect lack, and it will resist at first. Expect setbacks. Notice them without judgment and keep moving forward. Consistency over time is what rewires your mental scripts, reshapes your decisions, and ultimately transforms your financial life. Athena's journey is a reminder that your financial reality, ISNT, determined solely by your income. It's determined by the unseen forces shaping your decisions, your habits, and your mindset. By understanding those forces and intentionally choosing new paths, you regain control. You learn to make decisions from possibility instead of fear. You stop chasing fleeting comfort and start building lasting security. When you implement these lessons, money stops being a source of stress. It becomes a tool for freedom, opportunity, and growth. The scarcity mindset loses its grip when you consistently act in alignment with abundance. You begin to see resources as expandable, opportunities as available, and life as manageable. The key is simple but profound. Scarcity only has power if you let it. Once you take awareness, action, and intentionality seriously, the narrative shifts. You move from surviving paycheck to paycheck to thriving with purpose. You transform money from a source of anxiety into a tool for building the life you truly want. And remember, the process is deeply personal. Your path to financial freedom may look different from Ethan's, but the principles remain the same. Awareness, challenge, habit, separation, environment, and persistence. These 6 pillars will guide you. The moment you decide to act, the scarcity mindset begins to lose its grip. The moment you rewrite your story, you reclaim control. And over time, with consistent effort, you will not only escape the cycle of money always runs out, you will thrive in a life where abundance, opportunity, and security are not just possibilities, but realities. If this video resonated with you, it's time to take action. Start by noticing your own scarcity beliefs, the thoughts that make money feel like it's always slipping away. Write them down, question them, and decide which ones you're ready to leave behind. And don't stop there. Start small, track your spending, save consistently, invest wisely. Each step you take is a declaration that abundance is possible, that you are in control of your financial story. Share this video with someone who feels trapped in the same cycle, because understanding this mindset is the first step toward freedom. The more people realize it, the stronger the shift becomes. Subscribe to the channel for more insights into the hidden forces shaping your money, your choices, and your life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video that could change the way you think about money forever. Remember, scarcity only has power if you let it. You have the ability to rewrite the story. Start today. Take control and watch your financial life transform.